Hello, everybody. I know it's like late January, but it's still the first month of the year, and a lot of people have probably broken their New Year's resolutions by now, if they've even started them, or if they even had them, I mean. I usually am pretty pessimistic about New Year's resolutions because they just, they always get broken and it's like, what's the point? But even with that being said, I usually do try to make some sort of New Year's resolutions. I don't know why we feel like starting on January 1st makes a difference and you can't just start it some other time during the year. But it's like January 1st feels like a fresh start and you can start something new. And so I thought I would share what my New Year's resolutions are this year. They're pretty silly. Nothing that important. Well, maybe a little bit, but it should be dieting and exercise, but it's not. Because I have just zero desire for dieting and exercise. Like, my brain is not into it, so I know if I said I was going to do it, it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to make that a, resolution because it would be pointless. I have to be in the right, mindset and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, which I've done many times before, and then it always ends up breaking. But my New Year's resolutions are just kind of weird, random things that I just came up with this month out of I don't know why. A lot of them have to do with reading books. I've been becoming more and more obsessed with books lately. Whenever I go on Facebook, all I'm doing is looking at books. I'm like, books, books, books. Look at all these books, reading reviews on books. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just in a weird book craze right now. I've gone through periods of my life where it's like I've always loved books, but I've gone through periods of my life where it was like months and months and I never even touched a book and didn't read or anything. And then I just go through these crazes where I'm obsessed with books and want to read so many books. I feel like a lot of good books have come out lately when maybe there hadn't been in a while. So maybe that's something. I don't know. And I feel like books are there's like a resurgence. People are more excited about them, which is weird because I thought a few years back it felt like books were kind of becoming extinct. Like, I felt like these newer generations were not reading books and everybody's all digital, but we have Kindles and Nooks and things like that, so people can read books on there. You can do audiobooks. But I was scared that books were becoming kind of like obsolete and people didn't care about them as much. And I knew I always would care about them. But I was feeling like these newer generations wasn't. But I feel like there's a new resurgence all of a sudden and people care about books again, which is awesome. I love it. So I'm very active on all kinds of apps that track your book reading stuff. Goodreads app is the one I do the most. There's also one called Storygraph. There's one called Bookmori. And yeah, that's about it. And I go on Thrift Books, Pango Books, Kindle, eBay, and Amazon. And I compare prices and buy the cheapest books I can find. I compare prices on all these different book sites. And I go there all the time. So on Goodreads, if you've never been on that app before, you can do a challenge. You can set a reading goal for the year. And I usually do 100 books in a year. That's my goal, is to at least get 100 books. I think last year I got 160 to 170 books. So I probably should up it to 200, but whatever. I'm just going to do 100. But that includes every single book I read. Not just adult books, not just chapter books, but picture books, little kid books. That's why I'm able to get that high. If it was adult books, I'd only be able to get like 20, 25, something like that. Like, if I read two grown-up books a month, that's pretty good for me. 2 to 3 grown-up books a month. I don't know how people can do more than that unless they're a speed reader that's just like, just read. I wish I was a speed reader. My grandpa, I think it was, my mom's dad, he's passed away now, but he was a speed reader, my mom said. He would just sit there and just be like, flip. And my mom would be like, you're joking, like you're just messing around. And he's like, what? And she's like, you cannot be reading that fast. And if you are, you're not comprehending it. And he would sit there, he would say, yeah, I am. And he would tell her what the story was about, and he was comprehending it all, and he was just reading like that fast. I wish I could do that. That would be so awesome. Like, if I could pick a superpower, it's probably pretty lame, but I'd be like, I want to be a speed reader and be able to comprehend it too. I would be flying through so many books. I would be reading books all the time and just be like, I'd be like Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds, if you've ever seen that show.
Detail rankled when they hit puberty, and I was sure that they would refuse their bodyguards when they left for college. Excuse me, can you actually read that fast?
Our conscious minds can process 16 bits of information per second. Our unconscious, however, can process 11 million. Yes, I can actually read this fast.
I would love to be like him and have like one of those memories where you like remember, like you can be like, this quote from this page on, like you could be like, in this book on page 23 on line 4, it says this. I would love to have that superpower. It's not like it would get you that far, but maybe it'd help you in some aspects of life. I don't know. So that's one simple goal that I have, is to read 100 books in a year. And that's including kids' books and adult books. And I know I can make that goal, but whatever. Doesn't mean I don't have to have all hard goals. You know what I mean? Also, I'm doing the ABC challenge. It goes around a lot with reading groups and stuff. A lot of people try to do it. I've always wanted to do it, but I've never actually sat down and been like, okay, I'm for sure going to do it this time. And this time I am for sure going to do it this year. It'll probably take me the full year to be able to accomplish it. And I might even be at the end of the year like, oh my gosh, I got to read some books. I haven't made it. Because it's kind of a lot of grown-up books for me. Because I'm only counting, well, maybe. I'm going to try for the most part to count like grown-up books for the challenge and not just little kid picture books, you know, because that feels like cheating to me. So there's lots of different ABC book challenge, like blank what do you call them? Tablets? Whatever you call it. Like a blank slate that you can use to put your books in. Like a pretty designed thing. I'll try to put mine up on the screen so you can see what it is. I picked it because I thought it was pretty with the light blue coloring, and it has kind of flowers at the top. And I always thought the ABC challenge sounded really hard because it's hard to find like a decent book that starts with X or Z or something like that. And I don't want to have to, like, you know, read a book that's not that great, that just because I have to read a book that starts with X or Z or Q or some of these harder letters. Those are the main ones. I feel like I could find some books with V. They'd probably be about vampires or something. But this challenge I like because it says on some of the harder letters that you can read a book that has that letter anywhere in the title. So the J, for some reason, I feel like J would be kind of easy to find, but J, V, X, and Z, it says you can read a book with those letters anywhere in the title, not just starting with the title. I didn't explain this very well, but what the ABC challenge is that you read a book that their title starts with each letter of the alphabet for the year or whatever. Or you could just do the challenge until you get it done. Maybe you don't have like a year limit on it, but you just start at any time and finish it when you finish it. But it lets you have more of a variety of books because you're trying to find one for each letter of the alphabet. I worked up the math or whatever. Yeah, smart cookies. You'd have to read like 2 books a month, but then you'd also have 2 books left over. So you have to squeeze 2 more books in somewhere. Like 2 of the months you'd have to read 3 books, but the rest of the month you'd have to read 2 books to complete the ABC challenge. But the one that I saved has 4 more categories at the bottom, so that means I'd have to add even more to that. So I didn't calculate all that, but oh well. The other 4 categories at the bottom is number in the title, so a book that has a number in the title, a book that has a color in the title, a book that has an animal in the title, and a 1-word title. So you have to do those 4 in addition to all the alphabet letters. So it sounds easy, but it's going to be a lot for me. I've already read the A book, which was the all-girls filling station. The all-girls filling station's last reunion. I think that's what it's called. It's a long title, by Fanny Flagg. She wrote Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. That's probably her most famous book, which was made into a movie with Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy. My favorite movie. So, and I've never read the book, sadly, but I did have that book in my bookshelf. I've had it for a long time, and I randomly was just like, looking at my bookshelf, like, I'm just going to grab a book that starts with A. Grabbed that one and read it. The B book, I have so many options, and I'm like, I can't decide. I did order a book. Okay, so here's the A book that I read. Fanny Flagg, The All-Girl Filling Station's Last Reunion. And as you know, when you do alphabetical order in books, you skip the part and you start with the A. So it starts with A because you skip the. The does not count, or else you'd have a bazillion books in the T category. So for B, I ordered this book that I've been seeing everywhere on the different book club groups or whatever on Facebook and stuff. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I was attracted to the title and the cover art, and I read the description of the book, and I was like, I really want to read that. So I ordered it and had to wait a very long time for it to come from Amazon, and it finally arrived. But in the meantime, I had read my A book, and I didn't want to wait for this book to come in for the B book. So I went ahead, and I had already started a book starting with C before I decided to do the challenge, and it was from the library. So I was like, I need to read it and get that over with so I can turn it back in. I wasn't like super into the book, so it was slow going. It's called The Cats of Tanglewood Forest, I think it's called. It's kind of a kiddish book, a fantasy, make-believe type story about a girl that changes into a cat by magic, and she has to go on this journey, this adventure to try to change herself back into a little girl and save her aunt's life, and runs into all kinds of magical creatures and talking animals and stuff like that. It was a very strange book. Overall, I liked the book. I'd probably give it 4 stars out of 5, but I don't know. It was just it was hard for me to read. I wasn't like super into it. I read by my mood, and sometimes I'm just into a different type of book. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm not in the mood to read a biography. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to read a fantasy type book. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to read a thriller, crime type of book. Like it just I read by my mood, which is weird. I don't know. And it just depends on the writer and how they write the book. And sometimes it's easy to read and you just breeze right through it. And sometimes it kind of is slow going, depending on how it's written and how it flows or whatever. Anyways, I read that book to be my C book, but then I realized that this challenge has at the bottom, it says read a book with an animal in the title. And I have lots of other books that start with C that I would like to read this year. So I think I'm going to use that as the animal title book, because I don't know if I have any other books with an animal in the title that I'm going to want to read. So I'm going to have that count as that book, and then I'll read a different book that starts with C, because I have a bunch of books starting with C that I'm looking forward to reading. And then I moved on to the D book, which was Dad is Fat by Jim Gaffigan. It's his autobiography. I had heard that he had like 5 kids, that he had a lot of kids, and they lived in a cramped little apartment. I think because I've seen him in interviews and stuff like that, and he probably mentioned it. Maybe even promoting his book, I'm not sure. Yeah, this book is mostly about him being a dad and taking care of kids and what life is like for him and his wife, having 5 kids that were born at home births, and most of them were water births, where they're born under the water like in a tub and they come up. And he lives in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment in New York City. Of course, this book is kind of old, so I don't know. I'm assuming he moved since then. Especially with his kids getting older, that would be weird for him to live in this tiny little 2-bedroom. I don't even know if that's legally allowed. I've heard there's rules about, like, if you live in an apartment and you have kids, they have to have, like, you have to have so many rooms per number of kids that you have or something, or else Child Protective Services could get involved. But yeah, he has 5 kids, so he has a bedroom with 2 like twin size beds and a crib for 3 of the kids. And then in his bedroom, the master bedroom, he has a king size bed and a crib. And then there's another crib in like the living room area. And they have all their kids, like 3, 4, 5. So they have like 3 kids in one bedroom, a kid in their bedroom with them, and then another kid in the living room in a crib or something. It's pretty crazy. Or a kid in their bed with them, and then a kid in the crib in the bedroom. Yeah. And he even draws like floor plans of his apartment in the book, showing how it is. I can't. There's his bed with all the kids and him in there. There's 2 beds and a crib, and there's another crib over there. This tiny little apartment. And it's like a 5-story walk up, and he's like on the 5th story. That's just nuts to me. And they don't have a yard, and they have to like just go to the park and stuff, and they don't have a car, so they have to take subways and taxis and stuff like that. It's just a complete like opposite of my life. So it's so weird because I grew up in Oklahoma. I've never been on a subway in my life. I've been on buses, but not really like public transportation, like buses that much. I was more like a charter bus thing, or whatever you call it, like a bus, like for work. But like where I live, you pretty much have to have a car. And even like the teenagers have cars so they can go to school and work and stuff. It's like everyone in the house has to have a car. The mom has a car, the dad has a car, and the teenage kids have cars, because you live in the middle of nowhere and miles away from anything, and you have to be able to drive anyways. And there's like not much for public transportation. There's not like taxis, or there's not really buses where I live. There's buses in Tulsa, like the bigger cities. They're kind of sketch. But I've heard that subways are extremely sketchy, so I'm sure the buses aren't even that bad here, but anyways, I'm blabbing on about stuff. So I read my A book, my D book, or I'm almost done with the D book. I'm not finished yet. And then I read a book with an animal in the title. So I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Do, do, do. Okay, and then also, I've been seeing a lot of people put these bingo sheets where they do like a reading bingo. They play bingo, and there's like a different category in each little spot. And if you read a book that matches that, you get to mark it off. And when you make a bingo, I don't know. I guess you decide what you do. I made myself a bingo sheet on this app called Canvas, I think it's called, or Canva. What's it called? Canvas? I don't know. Some kind of app where you create stuff, because I wanted to make my own with categories that I thought I could do. Not some weird categories that they made up on the internet. So it's all like kind of feasible categories that I could do. So maybe that's cheating. I don't know. But when I get a bingo, like a row across or down or diagonal, I think I'll buy myself a little treat as my prize. And then if I make a blackout where I fill out the entire thing, and give myself another treat. So, and then one other book thing that I'm doing is every time I finish a book, a grown-up book, not a little kid book, like, a thickish chapter book, then I'm going to put $5 into a special little saving spot, like a little jar on my bookshelf. Put $5 bill in there every time I finish a book, so that when I get to the end of the year, I'm going to have a nice little savings I can go buy more books with. Or something. Buy myself some kind of treat with it. Or just save it more, So that would be good, because I'm not very good at saving stuff. So this year I'm like, got more saving stuff going on. And that's just something I saw randomly on the internet as well. Somebody said that every time they finished a book, they put $5 in a savings. And so at the end of the year, they had this bunch of money that they could use to buy more books for the next year. And then they started all over again. So I was like, I can do that. What's $5 here and there? I don't read that much, so it would be about $10, $15 a month about that I'll put to the side in cash. Also, I got myself a new planner for the year. I always buy myself like a paper, planner every year. This year, I got, this year I got this one on Amazon. Shiny one. Bookmark. This is my old bookmark from a different planner, and it doesn't fit very well. I need to get myself a different bookmark. It's got little tabs for the months, which I like. I'm not like super thrilled about the cover. It's kind of blah, whatever. It's okay, but it was just, I was going off what the inside looked like and the price. This one has a lot of extra stuff in it, which I like. And in it has this page called Random Acts of Kindness, where you try to do these random acts of kindness every month, and you fill in the heart whenever you do them. So I thought this year I want to be more, kind, have a good, I'm a big believer in like karma. So if you're good and nice and put good stuff out in the world, then good stuff will come back to you. And if you're a big old grump jerk, then bad stuff's going to come back to you. So I try to like kill people with kindness and like be nice and stuff, and live my life like that, so that I won't have to be like, well, there's karma for you, I totally deserve that happening to me because I was being a jerk myself. You know what I mean? Not that it makes my life perfect and nothing bad ever happens to me, But still, it just kind of makes you feel better about it because you're like, if I'm a jerk, then yeah, I'm going to have bad stuff happen to me and I'm going to deserve it. And if I'm good, then maybe everybody will think good things about me and they'll be nice to me and willing to help me. If I, you know, if I help people, then maybe they'll remember that. And if I'm in a tight spot, maybe they'll be more willing to help me. You know what I mean? Like, pay it forward kind of thing. I've always liked that. I mean, you have to be crazy not to like it, right? You have to be like kind of a jerk if you don't like people being nice to each other and charity and paying it forward and all that type of stuff. So anyways, I've been feeling kind of blah the past few months and stuff and just kind of feel like, I don't know, blah, antisocial. I haven't been getting out doing much. So doing these acts of kindness will help me kind of break out of my shell and maybe feel a little more happier in my life and not so depressed or whatever. So this month, January, it said to invite a new friend or coworker to coffee or tea, or like I take it to be, buy somebody a coffee or a tea. So a coworker of mine, she was having her 21st birthday is coming up at the beginning of February, and I see that she likes to order Starbucks a lot through like Uber Eats or whatever, DoorDash, whatever you call it, to work. Like they deliver it to her. So I got her a $15 gift card to Starbucks and gave it to her as like a early birthday present. I was like, that should count, right? As giving your coworker coffee. I mean, I gave her a Starbucks gift card. It's kind of the same thing. I didn't want to go buy her a coffee because I don't know what she likes, and I didn't want to invite somebody out to coffee because that felt extremely weird. And like I was asking them out on a date or something weird like that. And I don't really hang out with people, so I was like, eh. But hopefully that's good enough to count. Is give her coffee. In February, it's show appreciation to a service worker. I can do that. And tape a few quarters to the next kid's toy or candy vending machine you see. I can do that. I don't know if I'm going to tape them to the machine because that seems kind of weird, but I might put like some quarters in the slot of the machine like it's just sitting there so a kid will find it and be like, ooh, free quarters, and play the game. Yeah. March is use a reusable shopping bag, coffee mug, or water bottle. I can do that. I got a water bottle right here. I can use a water bottle. Relay an overheard compliment. I can do that. April, gift or lend your favorite book to a friend with a special note. Put away your phone and avoid multitasking when you are with someone. Support farmers at a local market. Visit the nearest little library and donate a book. Cook a meal for someone going through a tough time. Pick up trash around your neighborhood. Write a great online review for a business you love. Just random stuff like that. So I'm going to try to do those things. Another thing I'm doing is another ABC challenge. A different kind of challenge that I came up with. I saw online someone doing this, like a dating thing with their significant other, where it was an ABC challenge. And they were going on a different date that started with each letter of the alphabet. Like A, they go to an aquarium. B, they go to a baseball game. C, they go to I don't know, Cracker Barrel. D, they go to, my stomach keeps growling. D, they go to a dog park. I don't know. E, they go to, um, eat, eat out. I don't know. But they like go on a different date for each letter of the alphabet. You know what I mean? So I don't have a significant other and I don't want one. But I feel like over the past couple of years, I haven't been doing as much fun stuff with my daughter, M. She's 6, almost 7 years old. And when she was little, I used to take her and do all kinds of fun events all the time. And I felt like I had so much more energy. And I just took her and I was like, she's young. She's only going to live once. And she's my daughter and my only child. And I just wanted to do every fun thing I could think of with her. You know, we went to all kinds of events and fun runs and took her to the aquarium and the zoo and the park and all this stuff. And nowadays I've kind of got into this boring routine, and the only things I really do with her is take her to Taekwondo twice a week and go to the park and go to the library to kill time in between, you know, school and Taekwondo. We go to the park or the library. And other than that, we don't do anything else. And I just never have like the energy to do anything, it feels like, and it's really lazy. And I want to do more fun things this year. I want to make more memories with her and stuff. So I thought I could apply that to her and sort of go on dates, you know, mother-daughter dates with her, starting with each letter of the alphabet. So about 2 a month or so, squeeze in a couple more to get through the whole alphabet, to try to do all of these in 1 year and maybe have way more cool memories for this next year. Because she's getting older and older and it makes me sad. And I want to have like millions of amazing memories with her, you know? And I'm just letting time pass by too fast. This month I'm going to try to do, it's almost the end of the month already, but I'm going to try to do A and B. For A, I thought I would go to this place called Andy's Frozen Yogurt. She's been to it before with her dad a few times, but I've never been with her. And she rants and raves about it, says it's so great, and she's always begging to go there, but it's always a weird time. I'm like, no, we don't need to go get frozen yogurts. We need to eat dinner, you know? And the place doesn't sell anything other than like ice cream treats and stuff like that. It's not like a hamburger and french fry type of place. So I'm like, I don't want to go special trip just to go get ice cream. We don't need ice cream. We got ice cream at home, you know, that sort of thing. So we've never been. So I thought that starts with A, and that's easy to do. And for B, I already know it's going to be birthday party. Birthday bounce, because it's M's birthday at the end of the month. And this weekend, we're going to have a birthday party at this place called Bounce. And it's like got all these bouncy, inflatable, jumpy things, you know, obstacle courses and jumpy, bouncy stuff going on. So birthday and bounce, it all goes together, you know. B is already planned because it's M's birthday at the end of the month. And so birthday party, birthday B, also we're going to this place where they have all kinds of bouncy houses and obstacle courses and inflatable jumpy stuff. So, bouncing birthday. There's B for you. And then next month I'll try to do something that starts with C and D. Um, Z is going to be probably the zoo. And X, I have no idea what to do for X. Go get some x-rays. Xylophone. Maybe I'll buy her a xylophone. That sounds awful. I don't want to buy her a xylophone. She already has a keyboard, and that's really annoying. Okay, so that's another thing that I'm doing is ABC mother-daughter dates throughout the year, and I'll try to take pictures or film or whatever for each one of those, and like maybe I'll make like a video of all of it together or something. Maybe I'll just show tidbits as we go along in the year, little short videos or something. I don't know. Another thing I'm doing is trying to save more money for M, because I always feel like I'm not saving enough money for her, like for her future or whatever. So I signed up to where I will pay $25 out of every paycheck. I get paid twice a week. Every paycheck, $25 automatically goes into a savings account for her. So that will add up throughout the year, and I started it at the beginning of this year. The last thing I'm doing is a new thing I'm going to do on the channel I just decided randomly, I don't know why, but I thought as a part of being like acts of kindness or whatever, this isn't something that's normally done that much on YouTube, but I've seen some reactors do it before, where they shout out other reactors and promote other reactors without getting paid for it or anything like that. They just are like, I like this reactor, here's a video about them or whatever. So I thought, I watch a lot of YouTube. Like, that's pretty much all I watch. I don't watch TV or movies hardly anymore. I just watch YouTube all the time. And I am subscribed to a lot of YouTubers. I have a lot that I love. And they do the same thing that I do, but a lot better. And so I feel like they're almost like my coworkers or something. And I want to shout them out. And maybe someone that's following me has never heard of them, and you want to go follow them. So I'm going to start doing videos a video every month where I shout out 5 reactors that I am subscribed to and I love. I'm going to shout out 5 different reactors, random ones, every month. Basically, I'm going to do a video where I just say, here's a reactor that I like, and I'll talk about them and explain what their channel is like and what I like about them, and I'll do 5 different ones. And I subscribe to a lot of people, so it's pretty easy to do 5 each month. And if I like it and I'm able to keep up with it and it's doing okay, then maybe I'll go on next year and keep on doing it, because I'm still going to have more people left over that I wasn't able to cover. And when I come to a reactor that has like multiple channels, I'm going to include all the channels that I'm subscribed to that I know about together as one. I'm not going to separate all their little channels into separate ones. I'm just going to say, this reactor or reactors together, because often it's couples or something. Here's like all the different channels of theirs that I follow, and this is what they do and whatever. I just thought that would be fun. I've seen one other reactor do that. Alex Hefner, I think is his name. I've seen him do it. Of course, he's like a lot well known. So people are like, ooh, who does Alex like? More interested. than me because I'm like a nobody. But I don't know. I'm a person with interests. So maybe there's someone that I love that you have never heard of, and you can go check out their channel. Because I would like to promote them as just a act of kindness, you know? And just another fun idea of something to do on YouTube, that's not just reacting to a song or a music video or whatever. Because I don't do much extra videos that I can like try to get paid for that are not just copyright, like most of the videos I do, it's like you cannot monetize them at all. So I'd like to do extra stuff that's just me talking and just my own content that I came up with, And also that just sometimes is more fun for me to do that, just to come up with my own videos of randomness. Then rather than just watching music videos, And I feel like I'm just sitting there not saying anything, just staring at a screen, Okay, well, this is going to be a long, long video. I didn't want it to be a long video, but it turned into a long video of my New Year's resolutions and goals and random things I'm doing. I would love to hear what your random little goals or New Year's resolutions or whatever they are, what they are this year, or maybe it's something that carried over from a different year. Maybe it's not something you started on January 1st, but it's something you're just actively doing or have recently decided to do. I would love to hear about it in the comments section. Or if you thought any of my ideas were cool and you wanted to start doing one of those things or whatever. As usual, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't even bother with it, because what's the point? If you hate my video, just don't watch it. Just go on with your life and do something else. There's a million other reactors out there, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna go do something else now. Bye! Oh, like, subscribe, and bye.